Since its inception in the mid-1980s, the concept of sustainable development has been the focus of a great deal of discussion regarding the challenges and the opportunities of moving towards a more sustainable future. Education, public awareness, and training provide us with challenges and even greater opportunities in creating a more sustainable future. Education plays several vital roles in contributing to the pursuit of sustainability. The first thrust of ESD is to build public awareness and understanding of the concept of sustainable development. Both governments and the private sector need a public that understands and supports their sustainability initiatives. The second thrust of ESD is the access by all to a quality education that is appropriate for the 21st century. Without a high level of education, societies will have a hard time fostering any form of development, let alone sustainable development. The third thrust of ESD is reorienting our existing education. Unfortunately, it is our most educated nations that leave the deepest ecological footprints with their unsustainable patterns of consumption and other issues. All nations need to rethink the values, perspectives, the skills, and the content of their education systems. Lastly, the fourth thrust is engaging training programs. Business, industry, and government all provide professional or staff development for their workers. For the environmental, social, and economic well-being of our societies, we must share more sustainable ways of doing things. Then we must move forward to implement these procedures. There is a definite path for facilitating sustainable development through higher education. In order for a nation to shift to an information or knowledge-based economy, fueled less by imported technology and more by local innovation, a subtle combination of higher education, research, and lifelong learning must exist. It is here in higher education that the future leaders of society are educated. For ESD to succeed, it should be linked to one or more priorities of educational reform or to a major societal concern. For example, one current global concern that has the potential to drive educational reform in many countries is economic competitiveness. A second global concern is personal security, and yet another is questioning the global and national inequities that exist between people. ESD has a role to be a component in any such program of developing a culture of peace. Now, sustainable development itself is a complex and evolving concept, and hence so will ESD be an evolving concept. Many scholars and practitioners have invested years in trying to define sustainable development and how to achieve it on national and local levels. My personal preference to initiate discussion is enough for all, forever. It's memorable, and those three concepts really engage folks in discussion. However, we do know what is unsustainable, and we need to engage education, public awareness, and training in the task of addressing those unsustainable issues. The challenges to educators is to acknowledge the complexity of sustainable development and to derive messages that illustrate such complexity, but without overwhelming or confusing the learner. We don't have all the answers related to sustainability yet, but we cannot wait until we do have them before we begin to educate for a better future. We need to shed light on the problems and use them to teach higher order thinking and problem-solving skills, which are key elements of good education. In this way, even if we do not solve the sustainability issue immediately, we will improve education. Engaging traditional disciplines in the transdisciplinary frame of ESD, sharing responsibility, building human capacity, developing financial and material resources, or developing policy for ESD, or developing a creative, innovative, and risk-taking climate. These are all issues that need to be addressed in order to successfully implement ESD. Higher education has much to offer a nation's sustainability program. No one discipline or institution can deliver ESD on its own. However, each discipline has a strength it can contribute. The problem is to have both educators and other stakeholders realize this strength and to forge new partnerships in the pursuit of this important venture. To successfully implement ESD, governments and higher educators must plan ahead and mutually develop strategies to address their sustainability issues in a locally relevant and culturally appropriate manner. Now, purposeful deliberation and planning around the environmental, social, and economic issues particular to each region will increase the likelihood of successfully implementing ESD programs to address sustainability.